Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Boys. This is episode 275. I'm Mike.
And I'm Colin.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the album discography of the legendary Miss Fiona Apple. Going to be going into depth on all 5 of her records, talking about them, our favorites. Yeah, we will be doing all of that. But before we do so, Mr. Colin, how was your week, man?
Hey man, my week was alright.
Cool.
Last weekend was nice and fun. My dad and my sister June came down to hang out as like a belated birthday thing for me. But before that, on Friday, we finally got a place to sit in the house. We got a couch from Max's sister. Her brother-in-law brought it on over in his truck, and boy howdy, was that thing hard to get inside.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. In our garage, there's a little staircase up to the door, and it's like a couple steps and then a turn to more steps up.
All
and so if we wanted to get it up there, we had to get it around that little corner and up those stairs and then around another corner into the door. And that just wasn't working. A little too big for that.
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, we could go around the house to the actual like door. And we thought about doing that. We showed Max's brother-in-law what that looked like, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if that'll work because there's stairs right down to the basement right when you walk in. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we brought the couch back around, and then we decided to just disassemble the railing that's by the stairs. And that was the key to success. That railing was already pretty loose, pretty unsturdy.
Yeah.
And it has so many different bolts and stuff that like feel like they're like were just put in at random. So it took a while to get the correct tools and fit the bolts and nuts and whatever the fuck. But we finally got the one square piece off, and we just brought the couch up, leaned it against like the like front of the stairs, and then just lifted it over the stairs completely into the door.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think we bent it a little bit out of shape because it was still a little big. But it still works. It's got it's like a 3-seater with recliners on each end, which is nice.
Yeah.
So we finally have a couch.
Hell yeah.
Reminds
me of. I was just gonna say, reminds me of I mean, you know this because we talked about it all the time, but Vince and I would always talk about that couch that went into the apartment when we were living together, and it was such a pain in the ass to get in there, and we were dreading the whole time, like whenever we had to move out, we're like, this couch might be staying here, and then we got it out like first try. It's just easy as pie, but yeah, couches are fun.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Hell
Not
yeah.
looking forward to getting that out of the house when it's time.
But you can have some dread.
But then Saturday was nice. Did do much for the majority of the day before my dad and June came down, but I was just relaxing, maxing, not working, having a good time. Went on a little walk. It was a little warm, but there's a trail right behind the house, so we went on a little jaunt out there. Swung on a swing set, and then Dad and June came down. I showed them the house. I was like, "Look at the house. Isn't this nice?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's pretty nice." My dad brought me a desk chair, so I had to buy one of those. It's a nice desk chair.
Nice.
And he also brought me like two almost fully complete sets of Magic cards.
Mm.
Um,
I'm guessing
which
The Gathering.
yeah, Magic the Gathering, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Not Chris Angel Mind
Okay.
Freak the cards, you know. But the sets, like one of them is like it's like some furry set. I don't know. It's not like furries, but it's like anthropomorphic animals,
Okay, okay.
and it's
They're
and
really
that's
hot.
almost and they're really fucking hot. And the other one has like it's like kind of creepy, not creepy, but like dark and it's kind of scary. The art's really cool on it.
Okay.
Um, and I still have to look through those, but it was like fucking 6 full boxes of cards with like, and they were all individually sleeved and had card guards on them, so
Wow.
they're like protected like crazy. So if I want to sell those, they're in good condition.
Hell yeah.
Um, but they were heavy, and I'll have to check them out today with Ricky, see if we're into making decks or if I should just go and sell them maybe, but we'll see.
Mhm.
Um, but then we went and got some sushi at that little all you can eat place over
Mhm.
here. Yummy, yummy stuff. Uh, June's eyes were bigger than their stomach and ordered a little bit much.
Oh.
I felt like I was eating most of what was ordered, but I was like, I saved room in my belly for dinners because I didn't want to eat too much in preparation.
Yeah,
Uh,
as you should.
but yes, had that delicious yum yum cum cum
Oh,
sauce.
of course. Is that when
The
you sent a
best.
picture of that? Yeah, it was,
Yes,
wasn't it?
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Uh, um, and then we went and got some ice cream afterwards.
Hmm,
Went to Oberweis, classic.
nice.
Um,
I didn't know they had one of
but
those
this
over there.
was oh yeah, it's right by like Chili's
Oh, okay.
and stuff. But this Oberweis wait was the longest Oberweis wait I've had in my life. We went
Mm,
inside and we got in line. There was a family or whatever in front of us that was finishing up their order. At least we thought they were finishing it up. But 5 minutes passed. We're like, okay, taking a little long. The kids in the family already had their ice cream and were demolishing it at that point. But
mm,
like they were still standing at the register trying to figure out the payment. And we're like, okay. And then like 10 minutes passed. I was like, all right, this is taking a long time.
yeah.
And I overheard like they were trying to use a gift card that had like $5 on it or whatever. There were like
Mm,
5 people working at that Oberweis, and all of them were just on top of each other trying to like figure out why this wasn't working and typing it in differently and like trying to swipe it, and it just wasn't working. And it was literally $5.
yeah.
Um, so it's like just pay for the total. I don't know what you're doing, but it took like 20 minutes for one of them to be like, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna start taking orders over on this register, card only." Um,
Wow.
and it's like, wow, should have just gone to Cold Stone.
Yeah.
But but and then we finally got the ice cream and whatnot. Had a good time talking to my dad in June.
Mhm.
Um, it was fun. And we went on over to Barnes and Noble. Um, took a little jaunt over there. My dad was relying on me for directions, but I was busy talking to everybody, so I was like really distracted, and I forgot to tell him a couple turns, and he punched me in the face. I was like,
Yeah.
"What? Look at
Then he beat the shit out of me. Yeah.
yeah, my birthday beatings every
Yes.
year. Man. Uh, uh,
He punched you 25 times in the face.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still bruised and bashed. So
Mm, mhm.
it was hard to explain that at work, but most people just didn't give a fuck. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um, but went to Barnes and Noble, spent a little time in there. My dad, he just took me around and was like, "What books do you want?" And I was like, "You don't have to buy me anything." He's like, "I know you don't have to." And that's what he always says when I say you don't
Mhm.
have to do something. And he bought me the next Red Rising book, which I've been wanting to get, but it's been a little too expensive for my tastes. And then he bought me a book from a series called Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is like I've heard a lot of people talk about. I've seen it everywhere. It's very like vibrant colors,
Mm.
and it's like I don't know quite what it's about yet. It's like an apocalyptic. video game type thing. But I've heard good things. I'm excited to read that one.
Nice.
Um, that was nice. I love Barnes and Noble. Uh,
Shout out.
Shout out. And then yeah, and then afterwards they took us on home. My dad and June met Ricky Garrison and Ash, um, and said hello, and then and went on their merry way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then hung out with Ricky, Gary, and Ash afterwards. Just had a nice night before having to work on Sunday. Um, Work wasn't like too bad this week. Got kind of busy. The only bad thing is that Max has left me at McDonald's.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Important caveat. Yeah.
she left me at McDonald's for her new job. Her last day was on Wednesday, so
Mm.
that was nice. Everyone was like super sad to see her go, um, but she was excited and still is,
Yeah.
and happy for her.
Has she
It
started up
sucks.
at Target yet?
She's gonna start on Monday,
Monday.
but
Okay. Cool.
yeah, she's still gotta flip her sleeping schedule because she's starting at like 6 in the mornings now.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but she's gonna figure that out, and it's gonna be a much better environment than McDonald's is. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Because they're getting ready for like an inspection type of thing
Mm.
the next week, and so everyone like the big uh regional manager was there, and he was like, "You got to clean everything. You have to clean," and he was like, "You got get in the cracks, get on the floorboards." Like Ricky had to fucking go in the lobby and on his hands and knees and clean the fucking floorboards with rags and shit the other day,
Wow.
and he was like, "My knees hurt." I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Yeah." And then yesterday we had this like rack thing um for where like buns are held before we bring them over to like use them for food, and that needed to be cleaned, and Ricky was tasked with that, and he got the first half, but then they needed it up front, so it was brought to me in the back, and I had to like get on my hands and knees and clean that shit, and my knees were hurting, and I was like, this
Yeah.
sucks. Why am I doing this? I don't care if we pass or fail. I hope we fail.
Yeah.
um but I it's fine. I did read a lot this week, in the hole, because we're still pretty slow, and this
Mm-hmm.
Killers of the Flower Moon is a quick read. Um,
Quick read
it was
for a long movie.
yeah, no, seriously, it's
Yeah.
like a 316-page book,
Really?
and yeah,
They decided to turn each of
three and a
those
half.
into minutes.
That's yeah. Each every 100 page was an hour of the
Yeah.
movie. But it was a good book. I finished it yesterday, and very very fucked up that shit can happen and has happened and
Mm-hmm.
did happen in real life. White people are terrible and have always
Mm-hmm.
been terrible. Um, just like if you don't know what Killers of the Flower Moon is about, it's about the Osage Native Americans were, they were pushed from their lands, and then uh, they when they were pushed out of their lands further after the Louisiana Purchase, they found this territory in Oklahoma, um, that was deemed as like unlivable, very rocky, couldn't
Mm-hmm.
really plant. So white people were like, "Yeah, we don't want it. You can have it." And they were like, "Okay." And then in like the early 1900s, some like drilling happened, and they found out that they were on top of a shit ton of oil, shit ton of
Oh.
oil. And so the Osage Native Americans became fucking multi-millionaires,
Yeah.
just so much fucking money, and they were exploited for that.
Of
And since
course.
they were not white, and white people love to exploit people of different races, they were they were deemed like, if they were full-blooded Osage Native Americans, they were deemed as incompetent to take care of their own money. So they were given, um, a benefactor or a guardian that was like in charge of their money, and they had to, if the Native Americans wanted to use their money, they had to ask their guardians, and the guardians would go out and buy the shit or whatever.
Mm.
And so in like the 1920s, just murders on murders on murders started happening. Um, just like incognito, kind of like on the down low, just murdering a bunch of Osage to get their head rights for the oil and the money.
Yeah.
So like, and in total, it was like hundreds and hundreds of just murdered Osage
Damn.
um, for their money, and it follows like this main line of like 24 individual ones done by this one guy and his like goons or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that
and
Leo?
it was no, that is
Oh,
um,
Leo's in that
what's
movie,
his name?
right?
He is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's part of the whole scheme, but it was Bill Haley was played by oh, what the fuck is his name?
Robert De Niro.
The Robert De Niro.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
it.
I'm just looking at it on IMDb.
Uh,
He's the second cast. Yeah.
um, yes, but he terrible fucking guy. Holy shit. Crazy scheme too. It's very interesting. I highly recommend it if you're like mysteries and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's really well written. Uh,
Does
but
Does Jesse Plemons play a white supremacist again?
no, he plays
Oh,
an
okay.
FBI agent.
Okay, good. I was gonna say that I think that'd be 3 times at least at this point. He can't make a
And the guy
career
that
out of
just
that.
and the guy, and from what I read in the book, Jesse Plemons' character, he played Tom White, and in the book, he was just described as the best guy on the planet, just like super, like down to earth, nice,
Cool.
wanted to protect everyone around him, just like, and just did not get a lick of attention from J. Edgar Hoover, who was the creator and the um, director of the FBI in its formative years.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover, terrible guy, but also played by Leonardo DiCaprio, but back in another movie.
Mm-hmm.
But good movie, good book. Recommend it. And I'm gonna move on to Dungeon Crawler Carl after this, and that'll be
Mm-hmm.
my 10th book of the year. Um, but otherwise, been playing Pokemon Leaf Green, which is an older Pokemon game. Ricky bought it for me when they first dropped the like re-release of it on the Switch, and I just hadn't played it for a couple months, and I was like, you know what, this sounds fun. I've been watching Game Grumps play Platinum, which is a DS Pokemon game,
Mm.
and I was like, I want to play a 2D Pokemon game, so I ended up playing this one again,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's fun, having a good time. Played a lot of that while listening to Fiona Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's all I listened to this week as well was Fiona Apple. Um,
Yeah.
didn't really watch anything either. Just that's about it. How about you? How was your week, Mike?
Cool. Week was fine. Did a couple things. Um, Last week I talked about it right before we finished the pod, but that night I was going to a rehearsal for an alumni band thing.
Nice.
Little college alumni band. That was open to anyone who had been in any of the bands there, pretty much. And I was like, you know what? If it's in my neck of the woods, might as well go do that. And yeah. I mean, it was a good time. I got to see a few familiar faces, not really like a lot of them, but
Mhm.
it was enough that like like for instance there was the guy I kind of stuck by a lot of the time. He was a incoming freshman when I was a senior there, and I kind of got to know him a little bit during that time because we were in the same band. But it had been a while. It was cool catching up with him though, and talking to him after he'd been all through college basically. And then he like student taught at our high school, which I thought was cool. I was like, whoa. He mentioned that name. I was like, why do you know that name? But uh, I've never seen that movie. And yeah. But it was cool getting to catch up with him. And such. The director, I only spent 1 semester with him at the very end because that was the only semester I was in the top band at that college. But he remembered me, and he was he had emailed me beforehand and like about some stuff that I don't know, maybe I can go into later. I don't know, we'll see. But uh yeah, but like we like kind of caught up a little bit, and like he was just like talking to me like an old friend, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I
Uh-huh.
graduated like 3 years ago. I had you for a semester, so I don't know. It felt very warm and welcoming from him, and such.
Yeah.
And I think I think he probably what happened is he maybe somewhat forgot, and then he did his research on me because he was like bringing up. He's like, "Oh, I see you have like a podcast now, and you like releasing music and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah." Yeah, but it was cool though. He was very nice. And it was cool just get to sit down in a band again. I think I mentioned last week that like I was kind of practicing my ass off because the music was
Uh-huh.
difficult. At least one of the pieces was, if anyone is curious, it was "Give Us This Day" by David Maslanka, which is probably a piece that we wouldn't have even touched in high school. So like it was straight up like college level shit that I was practicing
Uh,
for that I haven't played since I was in college, of course. Um, and you know what? I fumbled my way through it. I don't think I had any too bad of mistakes or whatever. But that's kind of jumping ahead a little bit. After the rehearsal on Friday, we had like rented out a space at like a nearby restaurant to kind of just have some drinks and talk to each other. I wasn't drinking, of course, but
yeah.
I got to catch up with some other people who were in other sections, and just kind of talk with them a bit, and it was a nice time, getting to know some people and meet some people and whatever. Um, yeah, it was just I don't know, it was a very social thing. It was good to have, and had a good time doing that. We had some pizza there as well, which was good. Um, and yeah, then came back the next morning. I think at 8:30 a.m. or no 9:30 a.m. It was 8:30.
Mhm.
That might have been pushing it for me. But 9:30 a.m. Uh, rehearsed some more. Then we had a little lunch break where I went back and uh, it was an hour and a half lunch break, so it was enough for me to go home. Where I thought there would be a house party going on because we were supposed to be having a little get together with or my parents were having a get together with like their church friends and stuff. But
Mhm.
basically, no one had arrived at that point. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to eat some leftover food at home.
Yeah.
But I got to see my aunt and uncle and my grandma and grandpa very briefly. Then went back. Yeah, we did the performance, and it was a good time. A good performance. Uh, it's fun doing stuff like that, making music with others. It was really nice,
Mhm.
honestly, just kind of being with, I don't know, I guess just similar minded people again as well, because I hadn't really been, I mean, obviously with you guys, as I similar minded to you four,
Yeah.
or you three, but, I guess just like being like, I don't know, with like the positions and stuff I've been in, like job positions and stuff. It's just nice to be hanging out with a whole bunch of band people again because they think like me and they like music like me. So it's I don't know, it's just kind of nice to have that. And Yeah, it was a nice time. Um, but I don't think there's really much else to mention with that. I'm trying to think just to make sure. I think I'm all good. I mean, I do this every week anyway, but for slight context, we are recording a little earlier today as well, so my brain is a little extra tired. But it's okay. Powering through. And then Sunday we saw Obsession, which is kind of that and Backrooms getting a lot of buzz right now.
Mhm.
And It's pretty cool because both of them are somewhat low budget horror films. I mean, this one's definitely low budget, but Backrooms is like 10 billion or something, which not an insignificant amount of money. But
Yeah.
but both smaller horror movies directed by like people in their 20s, which is cool to see, and I think both also YouTubers technically. But anyways,
Yeah.
Obsession was really good. I really liked it. It was kind of one of those where like I liked it more like the more I thought about it afterwards too. There's like a lot of layers
Mhm.
to the story and to like the characters. And to I don't know, I think it was done really well. It's kind of hard to talk about without like doing spoiler stuff, but honestly, I went into it like completely blind. Like I thought I knew who the I thought I kind of knew what the general gist of it was when I went into it, but I was completely wrong. But if I had watched a
Hmm.
trailer, I would have known the exact gist of everything going on. So I don't know. It was a good blind movie. Very creepy. The main actress does really good in it. So does the main actor, but the main actress, Indy Navarrete, I believe. She's fantastic in it. And Yeah, yeah, it was a good one. I would recommend if anyone's looking for a horror movie. Uh,
Hmm.
Good psychological horror in there as well, which uh
Yeah.
was the part I really enjoyed. Um, but
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Max really wants to see that one. I did too.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to see that one and Backrooms real bad,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I
really
would.
gonna have to wait.
I would recommend Obsession. I haven't seen Backrooms, but I would recommend
Mm.
Obsession. I think you would like it. Uh, yeah, some cool stuff in there. Also, a surprisingly kind of funny movie too. Like
Oh.
as I've watched more stuff, I've seen a little bit of like the director like in his YouTube stuff. I think he kind of did a lot of sketch comedy before doing
Yeah.
his films. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But yeah, no, it balances like the tone of like horror and comedy like very well. Um, like one never really overrides the other, but there's a lot of there's some moments that are just like that's kind of hilarious. But it's um yeah. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, the rest of the week, listen to Fiona Apple as well. Continuing my Minecraft. I think I'm locked into getting all those achievements. Which I'm slowly chipping away at. Some of them are kind of insane. Like there's one with I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it, maybe. But you have to like get like every status effect in the game at once. Which is
Mm.
just an insane setup and gets more insane the more updates they add. Um, uh, for an example of one of the insane things, I have to lure the warden. I have to lure him to a specific spot basically in order to get that to work. So like bring him through like a nether portal and like bring him into the overworld and or back into the overworld. I don't know. It's it's doozy. Not quite there yet, but man. Um, but there was that. Some CS in there as well. Um, I think that's kind of about it. Trying to make sure. I mean, we're going to Wisconsin here today, which is kind of why we're recording earlier, just as a little safety net. Just to see our grandma again. Well, my grandma.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
kind of about it for me. Um, yeah, in some music news, Phoebe Bridgers, I'm not sure if you saw this, but I didn't really look into it too much, but I saw it
Hmm.
reported in multiple places, so I'm assuming it's true. Apparently, she's playing a $1 show at Madison Square Garden, um,
Yes.
where there are no phones allowed, which that's kind of insane. Both of those things, all
Yeah.
three of those things: Madison Square Garden, no phones allowed, and
One
$1
dollar.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a trifecta of what the hell. um,
Yeah. No, seriously.
yeah, um, but that's interesting. I don't really have anything much else to say.
That's really cool. I mean, she's been doing these little pop up shows,
Right.
where the tickets are free or $1 or whatever the fuck, and I've been playing like 4 or 5 new songs each time,
Yeah.
which is very cool. So Madison Square Garden's really really sick.
Hmm.
And then she also, I just saw this and signed up for it, but Phoebe Bridgers is going on a full blown tour
Oh shit.
as well, called the the Lost tour.
Mm,
She's hitting bunch of cities. She's hitting Chicago on September 19th at the
nice.
United Center with Alex G, which is
I've heard the name.
interesting.
Uh,
Uh, and Isaac Wood is the other um, guest on
Isaac
other
Wood,
dates. Yes,
like
um,
Black Country New Road.
I think so.
What the fuck?
Maybe
Wait, what? Hold
it's
on a second.
Isaac Wood. I don't I don't know, man.
Where are you getting this
Um,
information? Hold on.
on her website.
On her website. Okay, yeah. Everyone, okay. Sorry, I went to album of the year first, and yeah, a lot of people are going Isaac Wood. Wait, that's fucking insane. For those who are hearing me freak out right now, and don't know who the hell I'm talking about, Isaac Wood was part of Black Country New Road, and his last album was Ants from Up There, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's up there
Uh-huh.
for you too as well.
Yes.
Um, and he left the band shortly before that for some mental health reasons, and
Yeah.
has not been, we have not heard from him since then. So that's
Yeah.
why that was 2022. That's insane.
Yeah. He's only playing shows in Europe, it looks
Which
like.
makes sense. Yeah.
Which makes sense. But it's kind of crazy to go from my anxiety is killing me, I have to leave the band, to touring with Phoebe Bridgers. But
Yeah, a little bit, but 4 years can do a lot.
that is true. I would hope that through this comes an album announcement from Phoebe.
I would
I
hope
would hope that
so.
she releases
Yeah.
it before the tour. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Going on tour. Would love to see her. I know that we have a couple shows in September as well, so
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to see how expensive the tickets are, but it would be very cool to see Phoebe.
Hmm.
Um, so that's cool. Um, Charlie XCX announced a new album.
Oh, I missed
Um,
that.
yes, she announced a new album coming out July 24th called
Nice.
Music Fashion Film. Um, and speaking of Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese's featured on the cover, um,
Okay.
as well as like
Oh,
a
I have seen that album cover. I guess I didn't realize that was a
yeah,
Charlie album coming out.
yeah. So this is a very very opposite brat. It
Yeah.
looks like, but I'm interested. I haven't heard the first two singles that are on there, but
Hmm.
I liked Brat a lot, so I'm excited to see what Charlie has next.
Hmm.
Um, Weezer also announced an album,
I saw that one.
um,
Yes.
the Gold album,
Hmm.
uh, coming out on August 21st. So mark that off my anticipated albums
Yeah.
list as well.
You're
Um,
about to have a
killing
clean sweep, I think. I don't remember how many we've done, but you keep saying it.
it.
uh,
But
it is
yeah,
their like first self-titled album that doesn't have the four of them standing on it, which is kind of sad.
yeah,
But
I know it's kind of
yeah. But I didn't listen to it, but I did see that their new single was getting some good reviews, and also it has Wednesday on it,
good.
which I also have not listened to Wednesday, but I have heard very great things about her. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I haven't either, but I did see that came out,
yeah, it's a
and
cool collab.
I'm very I'm excited for it. I hope it's good.
Yeah, that's all you can really hope
Last
for
thing,
with Weezer.
last thing they did was the Seasons project. So,
That's true.
um,
Yeah,
it's been a while. 2022. That's wild.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. And then Taylor Swift was announced to have a collab song or a featured new song on the Toy Story 5 soundtrack.
No.
Um,
Oh
so that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I wrote down T Swift on the T Story sound T.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
Sound T.
um, so that's cool. Yeah, any other music?
I don't think so. I just had the Phoebe and the Weezer Gold.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's all I got too. I think
yeah.
there were a couple albums released today. Vince Staples
Death Cab also came out
Death
today.
Cab, yeah.
Yeah.
I got some, got some pretty good reviews. I like the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I might have checked that out. But
Yeah.
in like other news, PlayStation State of Play was peak
Oh.
this time around. I'll tell you what. We got a new like extended look at Wolverine, which is coming out in September.
Hell yeah.
Insomniac's Wolverine. That looks really good.
Damn. This
Very
fall's
excited
gonna
for
be
that.
a good fall for you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. A lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff coming out, and a lot of going out. So, um, but yeah, Wolverine's coming out. Got Until Dawn 2 was announced, and that looks really cool. Um, there's a cool like horror game. Like, it looks really creepy and freaky called Ill. That looked pretty cool.
Hmm.
Um, but the big hitter at the end of the show, Sony Santa Monica, revealed something big. And congratulations to Miss Leve.
Oh. Oh
Um,
yes. Yes.
she she is God of War Leve was announced, and I'll show you
Mm-hmm.
the cover for that right now. That I definitely didn't make myself. Um,
Wow. Look at that.
yeah. No, but Laufey, the dead wife of Kratos, the mother of Atreus, that was dead at the very beginning of the new God of War game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she is in the Everyone, which is where gods go after they die in
Okay.
this universe. She, as Kratos put it throughout both games, she's like a really formidable warrior and really cool. She's also played by Deborah Ann Woll, who is in um, who's been in all like the Netflix Marvel shows.
Oh.
She plays Karen Page. She's got big roles in Daredevil, The Punisher, all these shows, and she's fantastic. She's a big nerd. She's a really good actress, and I'm very excited for her to get a mainline role in a game like this.
Cool.
But then another person who is playing the cube behind Laufey there
Yeah.
is Mr. Jack Quaid,
Ah.
Petite Huey himself, and you can see here he's doing his motion capturing
Ah.
um, as a cube. Um,
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that get up.
oh yeah. Um, but this is very cool. I'm very excited. No release date announced yet, but
Mm.
they showed like 20 minutes of the game. Uh, just straight up, very reminiscent of when they showed off the first new God of War game, back in fucking 2016 or 2017 or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
very excited for that. I love Sony Santa Monica. They kill it. God of War Ragnarok and God of War were fantastic. So very much looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Combat looks very fun, a lot different from Kratos, which is very cool. Um, but
Nice.
that was really cool.
I do have to say, and you'll have to give me 1 second here because I'm working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the little cube in that
Yes.
picture, it looks almost identical to. I'm gonna get set up right now. In RuneScape, you can slay these things called jellies, which are just
Uh huh.
cubes that walk around, and this is what those cubes look like. Um, oh, hold on, it's sending. There we go.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's Jack Quaid right there.
Yeah, that's Jack Quaid. he's
The
a
final
he's a
girl.
jelly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what mythology that cube is from.
Yeah.
Maybe it is from RuneScape, but
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
but his
Fucking
name is
Sarah
Frank.
Doman's gonna pull up. Am I right, fellas? Okay.
Yeah, I know. His name is Frank, though. The cube's Frank, and
Interesting. Doesn't sound medieval
and
or
it's
ancient.
well, it's called it's spelled at
Oh,
PHRANQUE, I think
I
so.
stand corrected.
Um, but very excited for that. That was a very cool announcement.
Yeah.
And a lot of memes spawned from it being God of War Leve.
Yeah.
Um, But I'm very excited. Very excited.
I do wonder
Um,
because I remember when I did play. I haven't played the second God of War yet. But when
mhm.
I played the first one, they did pronounce it as like Laufey.
Yeah.
The anglicized version or whatever. I do wonder if they will still be doing that, even now that there's a famous person named Leve.
I
Who
think they
knows?
are, and
Yeah.
she goes by Faye, so it's like,
Oh yeah.
um, it's probably gonna be shortened most of the time.
Yeah.
Um, but still cool. Very excited for that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, and then there were a bunch of Pokemon Lego sets shown off and announced, and they
Mm.
look very silly. Um, there's a Gengar one that just looks like ridiculous, and I love it.
Mm.
But there's also a 30th anniversary set coming out. Like they did it for like the 25th and the 20th anniversary, where it's just like reprinted cards, some new stuff. But some of them are cute. But I'm going to show you this. I'm going to share my screen to show you this one. This one
Oh,
looks absolutely terrible.
let's see this.
Um, just really gross looking. Mew.
Ew.
Yeah, that's that's icky.
Yeah.
But so some of them are cute, but not that one.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so that, and not that I'll be able to get my hands on any of it because it's gonna get scalped to shit. But
Mm.
you know, still, not that I want that one. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I
I think that might be
I have one thing as well.
yes.
Out of curiosity, have you seen anything going on with this Lego scandal thing?
I think I heard something about bricks and figs, but I didn't
Yes.
really look into it.
Yeah, well, it's a lot to look into. I just kind of wanted to bring it up because I watched well, I'll be completely honest. I watched Ludwig react to 2.5 hours of content last night.
uh,
Uh-huh. And it's an insane story that starts off with this YouTuber helping a guy get back like $200,000 worth of Legos that were wrongfully stolen from him. And
oh,
so far, where it has ended is with this YouTuber possibly facing jail, and a corruption within the Utah State Police Department, and ties to higher ups in Mormonism, and things of that sort. Very
oh,
culty behavior in the Utah Police Department, and there's a lot of shit going on there that I'm not even gonna try starting to get into, to be honest with you. But it's just an insane story. Like I was seeing, I think videos from Moist Critical being like the Lego situation is crazy or whatever. But like it actually is crazy. Like it's insane.
yeah.
Um, it's a wild ass fucking time going on over there, and I just felt like mentioning it. It's a kind of like a huge thing happening right now. But yes, it does involve bricks and minifigs. And yeah,
Yeah, I'll
it's
have to look into that. That sounds like a crazy
yeah,
conspiracy.
yeah, it's wild. um, the YouTuber, he is a character for sure, and very legally gray, I would say,
Oh,
with some of the things that he was doing in the videos, which I think is catching up to him a little bit. But at the same time, bricks and minifigs are also, uh, you know, fucking assholes, and like it's a whole ordeal. Yeah, figured I would mention, just tease at that, I suppose. But it's an interesting story if you choose to look into it. Um, but yeah.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if was there any big world news that happened this week.
Uh, I think I saw that Trump had he had a doctor's appointment last week at the end of May,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just like didn't appear on camera for like 8 days, which is weird for him. He's very always wants to be on camera, so
Mm-hmm.
there's people thinking that he's very sick. Um, and that was also like it was brought up at a lot of places, like why is he falling asleep on camera? Like every time he's in the middle of something, like
Mm-hmm.
they questioned Marco Rubio in Congress or whatever. He was like, "Wow, that guy never sleeps. He texts me at like 2 or 3 in the morning and like yada yada yada." And then they showed a video. He's like, "You just lied to Congress." He's sleeping right there as you're talking to him.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah.
so they think he's sick, and God, please,
Yeah.
take this man. Um,
If you're out there, God, now's your time to show yourself.
yeah, you should have done it a long time ago,
Yeah.
but
You still got time.
I'll I'll believe in a higher power if you smite him in a terrible, terrible way.
Uh-huh.
Um, but um, but yeah, that's nothing,
Yeah.
nothing across my radar really.
Sleepy Dawn. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sleepy guy.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all good to transition into the actual topic for this week.
Mhm.
Well, not that our lives are not important, but this is what the episode is titled after. The artist analysis on Fiona Apple. This week we did a listening to all 5 of her albums
Mhm.
and gave our thoughts on them, and we will now speak those thoughts to you.
Mhm.
Before we get into that, I guess just for some context, I think I kind of get into it, but I had only heard the first 2 albums from Fiona Apple. I listened to Title a while ago, and I kind of get into how I felt about it in my review. And then When the Pawn, I listened to uh, further back than that, and I absolutely adore that album. And I will also get into that when we get there. Um,
Mhm.
but Colin, did you have any exposure besides like the one song I chose on Song of the Week?
No, that's about it. I knew the name. I watched the Mike the Snare video.
Yeah. Did you research?
But
Yeah.
did my research.
Yeah.
But no, the only song I really heard from Get Gone you highlighted when you listened to one.
Yeah.
So,
Hell
uh,
yeah.
so yeah, this was an enlightening experience.
Hell yeah. Sick.
No,
Well, um, you want to start off?
sure, I can start off
Cool.
with 30 Years in the Past, title
Oh God. Yeah. I don't
1996.
know why that makes me feel
um,
old. I am not that old.
because that was only 5 years before we were born.
Yeah, I think maybe
Um,
that's it. Yeah. I'm like, that's not too far from me.
yeah. He said it began by saying, "If I had to guess, hold on, getting on.
Yep.
If I had to guess, I'd say the apple of Fiona's eye are piano rock ballads.
Yeah.
Because boy, is this album chock full of them. Uh, Usually when I hear an album with songs that have such a same, oh my god,
This is an early
sameness.
sameness.
It's
Okay.
such a sameness to them as this album does. I'd frame it as an issue, but I don't feel as if that's the case here. With Fiona's absolutely stunning voice, with that jazzy cadence and emotion put behind some wonderfully written lyrics, there's really not much to complain about. On top of that, uh, those guitars, the instrumentation was absolutely killer throughout this entire project as well. The
Mhm.
gorgeous piano parts and some sick guitar riffs. I don't think that said guitars earlier, but that's fine. Um, and some sick guitar riffs all came together to make such a cohesive and lovely experience. I only expect to be more impressed as we go on here, but this is a really good debut. Um,
Hell yeah.
and my favorites were Criminal, The First Taste, oof, um, uh, Sleep to Dream, Shadow Boxer,
Mhm.
and I gotta look at the record to see what the fuck I wrote. Um, Slow Like Honey, I think it is. Um,
Okay.
and my least favorite was Soul and Girl. Gave it a solid 8 overall.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, title from 1996. I started off with Wowie Zowie. So I've heard I've heard this album before, and initially I went into it with the context and expectations of When the Pawn. Um, I love some songs here, but ultimately felt the project as a whole was a little bit slow. But for this listen, I went in knowing it would be a little slow, and boy, did that make a world of a difference. I really locked into the lyrics and performances on each track here, and man, this is a powerfully patient project, especially when you consider that she was 18 when she wrote this. I think even younger for some of the songs. Um, not only does it sound immensely mature, both lyrically and vocally, but the blending of genres is done like masterfully on here. I really love how like dirty and jazzy this project can get on tracks like Criminal. But I also love how lush it can get on other songs like Never As a Promise or Pale September. It's such an interesting blend that totally works in tandem with the whole album. Even though I have a newfound appreciation for the direction of the album, I do still think the experience can meander just a little bit. There's a lot of tracks that end with like prolonged instrumentals, which oftentimes they sound good, but it doesn't always add to the overall experience for me. I don't necessarily mind the amount of ballads on here, especially when her writing is as good as it is. But personally, I was craving a little more variation between some of the tracks or some more sonic elements to kind of sink my teeth into. It's a bit of a long 50 minutes, is kind of what I'm trying to say. But it's not egregious at all, as there are elements I love in almost every track here. She really comes out of the gate swinging with the writing, as vulnerable as and open as this, and the performances on top sound like a seasoned veteran. This is a great debut, and I'm glad I was able to give it another close listen. My favorites on here are Criminal, Solon Girl, The First Taste, Carry On, Pale September, Sleep to Dream, and Never As a Promise. And my least favorite is Slow Like Honey. And overall, I gave it a strong 8.
Nice.
Sick. Cool. All
We
right.
both like Criminal a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Look at
Criminal's
that.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But then we move on 3 years later to when the pawn hits the conflicts, he thinks like a king. What he knows throws the blows when he goes to the fight, and he'll win the whole thing for he enters the ring. There's nobody to batter when your mind is your might. So when you go solo, you hold your own hand, and remember that depth is the greatest of heights. And if you know where you stand, then you know where to land. And if you fall, it won't matter, because you'll know that you're right. From 1999. Um, that album title broke a world record for the longest album title at the time, only to be taken over by Chumbawamba in like 2007 or something like that. But yes, also known as When the Pawn. Um, and I start off by saying, what dating Paul Thomas Anderson does to a motherfucker. Uh, this may be the most justifiably angry breakup album I've ever heard. Like I don't know the context of this relationship at all, but the pure vitriol in her vocal performances on here is enough to make me go, "Hell yeah, girl, dump his ass." There's something so cathartic about this record. Like it's a huge release of pent up emotions through the use of music, and on top of that, the songs are fucking great. There's much more of an alt rock influence on here, but it still keeps with like the jazz and classical influences, and it leads to just like this gorgeous blend of genres. This record is so punchy, but extremely groovy as well, with the inclusion of brass at some points as on here. And the songwriting is just next level. The way every song leads into its respective hook is masterful, and it's always keeping me engaged. I've spun this album so many times over the years, and I never get sick of things like the Barry sax stabs in the chorus of Limp, or the vocal performance and arrangements of On the Bound, or the ferocity and balladry duality. Jesus Christ, Mike. The ferocity balladry duality of As Fast as You Can. Fast as You Can. Jeez. It's all expertly produced and arranged, with unique yet immensely satisfying structures, and dynamic production layering all of the elements perfectly. And then there's Get Gone, the first song I heard from Fiona that made me instantly check out this album. To this day, I think it's one of the best songs I've ever heard. Like, I love that song so much. Every detail is perfect. An expert vocal performance, an extremely satisfying progression between soft verses and pissed off choruses, and the lyrical content that feels even more vitriolic than everything beforehand. Every time she hits that fucking go line that in this song, I get like a stank face. It's just all straight from the heart. I will say that I've never really loved the closer on this record. I think it's good and has a beautiful performance, but it's always felt a bit disconnected from the rest of the record to me, both lyrically and in sound. I kind of wish there was something that felt a little more conclusive on here, but apparently that relationship with Paul Thomas Anderson continued on for 2 more years after this. So maybe that's why it's not that conclusive. But regardless, I fucking adore this album, and it's up there as one of my favorites of all time. My
Mm-mm.
favorites on here are Get Gone, On the Bound, Limp, Fast as You Can, To Your Love, and Paper Bag. My least favorite is I Know, and overall, I have it at a decent to strong 9.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, One the Pawn, 1999. Now that's how you expand on your sound while not straying too far from what made you great in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Those emotional, sweeping piano rock ballads are still around, but with some interesting production choices and electronic sounds thrown in there here and there. It was a good amount of variation to keep me interested and really engaged. Though I don't think there was any worry about that, or any worry about me losing interest with such a beautiful, emotional singing and lyricism from Miss Apple over here.
Mm-hmm.
She's absolutely iconic and is the owner of an absolutely gorgeous voice that I could see bringing me to tears at a moment's notice. This is an amazing project that builds off the debut in a perfect way. I knew that this was a breakup album, but I didn't really look into the story of it. And I
Mm.
watched that Mike the Snare video a long time ago, so I didn't really remember the whole backstory.
Yeah.
Um, but all of that emotion was conveyed perfectly by Fiona Apple. Just really, really, really gets across that the emotional nature of a breakup
Mm-hmm.
in general, just emotion in general, with that awesome voice of hers. Um, but yeah, really, really good. Really like this record. My favorites were "Get Gone," "Fast as You Can," "On the Bound." I liked "Get Gone" so much I had to mention it twice. Paper, Paper Bag, and "Limp." I didn't have any least favorites, and I gave it a solid 9 overall.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, very
Hell
very good.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love that album. I'm glad you did as well.
Yes. And then we move on to Extraordinary Machine in 2005. 6 years later,
Mm-hmm.
uh, big old time jump, but as we'll come to realize, she's no stranger to those at all.
Yes. The
Um,
first of many.
um, but yeah, Extraordinary Machine. I said, hmm. Whereas Pawn had enough new sound and variation to differentiate it from Title, this project feels almost like a de-evolution all the way back to the debut.
Mm-hmm.
Um, while most would argue that there's no real problem with that, considering Title is very good, after a 6 year break, I'd kind of expect something to change. Now, maybe I'm not uh, giving Fiona enough credit because there were a couple breaks, a couple tracks that had some interesting production choices, like Timps, which
Mm-hmm.
had an interesting instrumental and a new flair to her singing style. Um, it's just as a whole, not as exciting as I was wanting it to be. By no means does that mean this is a bad record at all. It's still great, and Fiona continues to put on uh, a great show with that voice and those lyrics. I was just hoping for a little more uh, differentiation from the first couple,
Mm-hmm.
but that's okay. It was still good, and I'm hoping for something. I was hoping for something really good to blow me away on the next couple. But my favorites were Timps, Not About Love, Please Please Please, Oh Sailor, uh, Get Get Him Back, and Parting Gift.
Mm-hmm.
My least favorites were Better Version of Me, Oh Well, and Red Red Red. And I gave it a strong 7 overall.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Extraordinary Machine, 2005. After a 6 year gap, Fiona returns with Extraordinary Machine, a record that is much more playful than her work has been thus far. A lot of this can be attributed to the addition of orchestral arrangements all throughout, making this project much more chamber pop than the last two were.
Mhm.
And while I still think this is a good album, I agree that I don't think it has the same presence as her first two projects. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have its own character, because there is a lot on this project. I'm not sure why, but a lot of the chamber pop elements and wacky chord progressions reminded me a lot of Pretty Odd by Panic at the Disco.
Mm.
I could totally see them being inspired by the elements of this album, with the intentional dissonances and wandering key centers. But in general, I think this record is just lacking in some of the songwriting. Not the lyrics, mind you, because those continue to be personal and engaging on here. But
Mm.
the melodies and song structures weren't pulling me in as frequently. I felt it especially in the first few tracks, but it started picking up around halfway through for me, and I really dug a lot more of the second half. I know her music is going to be a little more off kilter from here on out, and I feel like there were glimpses of that here in tracks like "Not About Love," where the tempo and tone is constantly changing, and Fiona is practically rapping at one point on this track
Mm.
with the bumped BPM. And like I said, I do like the lyrical content pretty much all throughout, especially on the opener and title track. I think there's some cool lyrics on there about comparing and contrasting herself to her lover and showing uh, what and represented their incompatibilities, with her being like free spirited and him being like well structured and stuff like it. Like plays with those dynamics. I don't know, I wrote that
Mhm.
sentence terribly. It's a really well written dynamic that pairs well with the whimsical orchestral palettes, but the deeper cuts on this one just were not connecting with me as much on that songwriting level, but it's still a solid project. My favorites were "Oh Well," "Window," "Better Version of Me," "Extraordinary Machine," and "Not About Love." And my least favorites were "Red, Red, Red," "Get Him Back," and "Oh Sailor." And overall, I give
Mm.
it a decent 7.
Nice.
Yes, kind of crazy that that album has "Please, Please, Please" and "Get Him Back" on it. Shout out Sabrina and Olivia. um, cool. All right. Now we move into 2012 with "The Idler Wheel is wiser than the driver of the screw, and whipping cords will serve you more than ropes will ever do." A little shorter, but not exactly short. From 2012. Thank you, thank you. um, all right, also known as the Idler Wheel. Oh hell yeah! Now we're getting properly weird, and I really like it. There's such an interesting mix on this album, and with the instrumentation being rather sparse, but the sounds that are you wait, and with instrumentation that is rather sparse, but the sounds are used are full of character. I was not writing good sentences, but a lot of character in the sparse instrumentation.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a lot of hand drums and like tribal grooves on this one. And I think I even heard some like found percussion throughout, like household glasses and bowls and stuff like that. Fiona's chordal and harmonic choices are as interesting as ever, and she really leans into the quirkier side of her songwriting. To be honest, I had to give this one a couple listens, just because I didn't really know what to write after my first listen. And to be
Mhm.
honest, I'm still a little bit at a loss for words. But I do really enjoy this collection of tracks. Not every song is catching my ear initially. Some of the deep cuts are a little more challenging to latch onto. But I could see them growing on me with time, and they definitely add character to the whole record. But the highlights are very high. I love the structure of the opener every single night, specifically how it builds from like the sparse instrumentation into like big refrains on there. Um, there's song The songwriting is back to being top notch for me. Really sticking out to me on tracks like "Valentine," "Werewolf," and "Anything We Want." And I
Mm.
love the closer "Hot Knife," with it practically being like an a cappella cut, with like dozens of Fionas singing a folk like melody.
Mm.
It's a really bold for a closer, but it works really well at wrapping up this strange project. Overall, I'm not absolutely head over heels for this album at the moment. It's definitely a project that I will be returning to and could see it growing into the nines for me. My favorites are "Hot Knife," "Every Single Night," "Werewolf," "Anything We Want," "Left Alone," and "Valentine." And my least favorite was "Jonathan," and I put in parentheses "Sorry John." And overall, I give it a strong 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Idler Wheel to 2012, 7-year time jump. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay, not exactly the path I was expecting to be taken, but honestly, not a bad one. None of Fiona's music has been super crazily produced up to this point, but this is a whole step away from production that makes for a super stripped down, more raw experience that I think fits the music of Fiona Apple extremely well. While the production and any crazy instrumentation takes a step back, Fiona's singing takes steps in an interesting direction on a few different tracks here, making for a pretty artsy, abstract portrait that at most places I uh, I vibed with, and on
Mm-hmm.
others not so much. Uh, like on the opening track, just kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. Wasn't expecting it, and didn't super vibe with it the first time. But if on a revisit, I could see that opinion changing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of replayability, I don't know how much I'd really return to this one. Just pretty weird. But like I said, I think on another listen, it could grow as a whole on me. Um, but it was cool to hear such like a stripped down kind of homemade feeling record
Yeah.
um, from Fiona here. Felt like it really fit her style really well. Um, but my favorites were Valentine. I think that says boy, regret.
Okay.
Anything, anything we want. Werewolf and Daredevil. Shout out Daredevil. Luna's favorites were um, every single night and Periphery. Um, I give it a strong 7 overall. But like I
Cool.
said, I think it definitely grew on me
Yeah, no, it's definitely
for sure.
a strange one. It's a bit abstract.
Yeah,
I think it, for me at least, it made more sense on a second listen just because I knew exactly what to expect.
right.
But yeah,
All
cool.
right. Well, here we go. Last record up to this point from Miss Fiona Apple.
Hmm.
8-year time jump to 2020. Year of our Lord. Uh,
Yep.
great year, best year of our lives. Fetch the bolt cutters. I said, PETA production is here. And it sounds and it sounds maybe cooler than it ever has. Um, I don't know what happened in the 8 years between this album and the last, but it inspired Fiona to make this banger. So I'm thankful for whatever it was. The interesting singing style that I felt was hit or miss on the Isla reel is really mostly a hit for me here, as it just adds to the abstract nature of a lot of the production choices made across the record as well.
Hmm.
Um, it's not as out there and weird though, and it's not all out there and weird though. And as always, those classic piano ballads, jazz, rock, whatever you want to call them, are all absolutely fantastic. And Fiona continues to put on a masterclass, put on a masterclass for everyone to enjoy and gawk at. The past two records weren't at all bad, but this record feels like a real return to form. That gave me similar feelings to how I felt about the first couple records. Really like this one. Uh, just a big step up for me than the last couple. But my favorites were Relay, Cosmonauts, Fetch the Bolt Colors, Newspaper, Drum Set, and Ladies. And my least favorite was I Want You to Love Me. I give it a late 9 overall.
Hell yeah. Cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Fetch the belt. Fet, fetch the
Fetch the
bolt
belt, boy.
cutters. Fetch the bolt. Fetch the bolt cutters from 2020. For an album that was apparently recorded from 2015 through 2020 and coincidentally released in the spring of 2020,
Oh.
this record really captures those feelings of like at homeness with its DIY production. Fiona recorded this all in her home on fucking GarageBand, apparently.
Whoa.
And I love the ways in which that's present in the actual recordings, with more things like found percussion, and occasionally dog barks are seeping into these tracks, which I don't know, it's kind of cool. I love how there's messy vocal takes as well, like extended ad lib voice notes, or even messing up lyrics in like a repeated section on the outro. It all feels artfully unkempt, and like an intentional perspective into the person creating it. Um,
Mm.
but in my opinion, these aspects would not be as charming if the music sucked, and thankfully, It does not. In some ways, this is more accessible than Fiona's last project, as there's more familiar melodies and chord progressions throughout. But simultaneously, it's not afraid to get real strange, with the percussion in particular. The rhythms in general on this thing are very mathy, which of fucking course I adore. Shamika is a great example, with the feel constantly switching between triplets and eighth notes on a dime, but executed very tightly. Similar sudden tempo changes can be found throughout, and I really love how hard she leans into that type of rhythmic complexity on here. But overall, almost the entire project is just really groovy and like fun to listen to. I
Hmm.
love the fuller moments of the production as well, like you were talking about, especially when she begins like layering her vocals a few times in here. Like it just sounds
Yeah.
so good. Um, all in all, it's just a really interesting project that I had a great time listening to. My favorites were Shamika, I Want You to Love Me, For Her, Under the Table, Newspaper, Cosmonauts, and Cosmonauts. And my least favorites were Rack of His and Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Overall, I gave it a really strong 8. It's like really on the border of a 9, and it could totally grow to there with another listen or two. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That one just like hit me. It was like
yeah, no,
I was really loving that one.
it's a cool project. It's
It
really
is.
cool. Um, Yeah, cool. So overall
Yeah.
thoughts, Fiona Apple. I was definitely excited to get to her discography as I really enjoyed the two projects I had heard before coming into this. Um, excuse me. And the additional three we listened to here really cemented my love for her as an artist. While I would be surprised if she ever ends up topping When the Pawn for me, I really don't mind her leaning more into like the artsier direction like she has with the last two projects. There's an authentic element to the quirkiness, and it's honestly been present in her music since her first album, so it feels like a natural progression of her sound. Plus, it really leads to some. Plus, it leads to some really cool results. So there's not much to complain about on my end. But I really love how she blends the worlds of pop, rock, jazz, and like singer-songwriter music. She's a very talented
Hmm.
musician and an even more talented writer. Even if I didn't always love the songs, I don't think there was a single track throughout these 5 albums that was uninteresting to me on a lyrical end. And the way she uses her voice to emphasize the words is just chef's kiss. She has a great voice, and even though it's changed as she's aged, naturally so, in some ways, she's even more in control of it than her early days, especially in like her higher register. She really plays with that
Hmm.
in the later albums. Um, at this point, Fiona's kind of an artist that pops up now and again whenever she wants to. So hopefully we get more from her again. But I really enjoy her style and would love to see where else she can take it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. My overall thoughts. I said I don't know what I was expecting coming into this AA, other than some good music. But I really wasn't expecting an artist that I could see climbing up into my favorites. The more I give a listen to her stuff.
Yeah.
Just a theory, but definitely uh, something I can see happening. Fiona Apple is absolutely enigmatic, starting from her very first project, slamming onto the scene with gorgeous vocals, meaningful lyrics, and beautiful instrumentals around her. Um, Having not lost that spark across her now 30-year career is extremely awe-inspiring,
Mm-hmm.
and made for a well worth it listen through her entire discography up to this point. I don't know if she plans on making a comeback, but I suppose we're still a couple years off from that possibility.
Yeah.
Either way, uh, I'm sat for Miss Fiona Apple. Um, Very very cool.
Yes. I
Um,
realized as you were giving the descriptions that there was a 6 year gap, then a 7 year gap, then an 8 year gap. So I guess we gotta wait till 2029 for
yeah.
the next one. But 3 years away. That's terrifying. Uh,
But my album ranking goes When the Pawn, then Fetch the Bolt Cutters, then Title, then The Idler Wheel, then Extraordinary Machine, and overall I gave her a
Solid 8, I'm guessing.
solid 8.
Yeah, the number got cut off. You heard everything else. And my ranking is the same: When the Pawn, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, Title, The Idler Wheel, and Extraordinary Machine. And overall, I gave her a strong 8. Um,
Cool.
yes, yes, really, really good discography. Some really great projects in there to check out.
Also, only 2 million monthly listeners is criminal.
Honestly, true. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been a while since the last album, but even so, yeah.
Go
Hell
listen
yeah.
to Miss Apple over here. She's fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. Um,
Fantastic. All right.
yeah.
Well, I think we can get into song of the week here. I am
Mm-hmm.
up first this week,
Yes, you
and
are.
I'm kind of struggling to pick one. Because in some ways, I want to highlight some stuff from the new albums that I listened to, but also I really fucking love When the Pawn. So I think
Yeah.
I might just be sticking with When the Pawn here, and then here I have two that I want to choose from. Um, and you know what? Right now, I've been feeling this song a lot. I listened to it a few times this week after listening to the album, and I'm like, damn, that's such a good fucking song. So I'm going to go with Limp by Fiona Apple.
Beat me with your bitter lies, so call me crazy, hold me down, make me cry, get off now, baby.
Okay, that was Limp by Fiona Apple. What'd you think of that, Colin?
I really, really liked that song. Really like her singing on this one. But I especially like the really cool like production breakdown,
Yeah,
or not production, percussion breakdown.
yeah,
Uh, in towards the end, just like really, percussive.
yeah.
um, but no, I was also listening to this without reading the lyrics, and I probably haven't listened to this song since I listened to the record.
Mm,
But when she says my fingers turn to fists,
yeah.
um, I kept hearing it as my fingers turned to piss, and I was like, why? Um,
That's a
but
visual.
yeah, but yeah, it's a really good song,
Yeah.
and When the Pond is a fantastic record.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I also love that percussion breakdown, the little drum solo there, little marimba I think that comes in there as well. Very, very nice. But I love that chorus on this song. And it's kind of it's one of the prime examples of when I was saying in my review, like where this album makes me go, hell yeah, girl, dump his ass. Like that, this is one of
Uh,
those songs I'm like, oh yeah, you get it. uh, I absolutely love the energy on this one. I like how it like builds up and everything too, with like the drums coming in like quote unquote early in the first verse and stuff. Like there's such cool pacing on this song, and I love like I was saying in my review as well, those like Barry sax stabs in the chorus there. The call me crazy, like it's just
yeah,
it's so groovy, it's so catchy. I love it, and that track is great. And
right.
also I wanted to mention as well that I forgot to put in my reviews, but the guy who helped, I think he produced a little bit on her first album, but on this album in particular, is John Bryan, who is the guy who finished up the production on Circles by Mac Miller.
Oh,
Yeah, this I think this might have been his first big album, I think. But yeah, kind of cool little tidbit there. But yeah, what do
that's
you?
awesome. I love that guy.
Yes, yeah, great guy, great guy.
Um,
What are you thinking for this week?
well, I want to go something from Fetch the Bolt Cutters because that
Okay.
one really hit for me. And a song that I've been replaying because it's just so interesting and fun has been Relay. So I'm gonna go with Relay by Fiona Apple.
All right.
Evil is a relay sport when the one who's learned comes to pass the torch.
All right, that was Relay by Fiona Apple. What'd you think, Mike?
I think that is a great song. It's kind of one that's a little hard to describe, but I do really like
Mm.
the overall vibe of it. This is kind of one of those like prime examples of like the I guess almost like folk like stuff that she does in the last couple albums, where especially with that hook. I really like
Oh,
the lyrics on it. I think it's also a prime example of kind of what I was talking about with like the rhythmic changes that happen throughout here.
yeah.
A lot of cool little switch ups and like low key mathy things going on that my brain gets a kick out of. But yeah, no, it's a cool track. Fun track, I guess. Yeah, I'd call it a fun
Yeah.
track. Yeah, I like the jazzy elements of it too. Like the bass
Yeah.
is really cool in this track. But yeah,
Yeah. No, this one even on first listen was just like so interesting and out there, and caught me by surprise. It was just I really love just the dun-dun, dun-dun, of the whole
Yeah.
chorus and everything, and then this one, much like Limp that you picked, had like a little breakdown of its own,
Yes.
um, which wasn't just percussive but had like bass and stuff in it, um, and it just the song ends at like 4 minutes, but then there's just Fiona Apple singing to herself and like a semi creepy way, just like in the
Yeah.
background in a very high voice. Um, and it's just like it doesn't lose any points for me there. It just
Me
like
neither.
it sounded really nice, and I don't know. It's just a fun, interesting kind of out there track that really stuck with me, and I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a great pick. Cool.
thanks.
Well, yeah, no problem, man. uh, yeah, sick. Well, unless you have anything else, I think we can do a little bit of rapping here.
I think I'm ready to wrap.
All right, cool.
Drop a beat.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and that's your that's your steady beat.
Thank you.
um, yes. Well, you are if you well. If you are listening on streaming services, I was about to accuse you of listening on streaming services. If you are, though, you should give us full stars, or whatever the equivalent may be, especially if you made it this far into the video. We appreciate you,
Oh yeah.
and we love you to death. But you can come on over to YouTube, where we are under the same name, BrokeN Boys, capital N, BOIS. And you can see our beautiful pictures, profile pictures here, of Mr. Mark S. from Severance, staring at you longingly, sadly, I don't know, and maybe a bit of both, and Billy Butcher opening a nice crisp can of Dr. Pepper, and,
Oh yeah.
with a crowbar, and it's a sight to behold, and you should behold it over on the YouTube page. But over on YouTube, we also have a bunch of links in the description. We have links to the Song of the Week playlist, that little segment that we just did. We do that every episode. And we have 3 playlists down there. We have one for me, one for Colin, and one for both of us combined. And in those playlists, you can find Relay by Fiona Apple, or Limp by Fiona Apple, as well as another Fiona Apple track from a while ago. Honestly, I should have highlighted more. But yes, but there's a whole bunch of artists and music to discover within those playlists. So go ahead and check them out. And if you want to check us out, non-sexually, question mark, you can oh god, you can I have Liam say make music, yes. We'll blame it on the sleep deprivation. I make music under the name of Plaintive. I have music out. I have an EP from last year called Cyclicism, as well as an album called Coping Mechanism. Go check them out if you wish. I think they're pretty good, and I'm hoping there's some new music coming this year. Still hoping for that. I say that as if I'm not the one making it, but I still hope for it to come out this year.
Me too.
Go check those out. It was linked below. I also have my Instagram down there, as well as my album of the year page, where I rate and review music. All of these reviews will be up there by the time the episode is posted. And I have my TikTok down there and my YouTube page. Oh boy, and my relation to you, dear viewer. There's not a lot of great visual motifs I can play off of on the Fiona Apple albums. Most of them are just her staring. Let's see what else happened this week. I don't know. Pulling up my notes. You know what? You and me, dear viewer. We we both don't got a lot of dimes to our name. We're both out here, trying to make the ends meet. I almost said ends eats. I was trying to make ends meet.
I'll eat your end.
Making ends eats. Human centipede. That should have been the tagline for that movie. Anyways,
oh my god, you're genius.
Thank you. It was inspired by you. Anyways, you and me, dear viewer, are trying to make ends meet. But you know us, we love Phoebe Bridgers. So we see that there's a $1 show. We're like, hell yeah, let's take a trip from Chicago to New York to save money. And instead pay $1 at Madison Square Garden to go see Phoebe Bridgers. So that's what we're doing right now in this very moment in June of 2026. For show that's in September, and I don't know when that show is. And yeah, we love Phoebe. We're a couple of boy geniuses ourselves, and we're there. But oopsie, I messed up my ticket. I'm actually one row behind you at the Phoebe Bridgers show. I feel like I've done this scenario so many times where we're at a show and I'm just behind them. It's kind of lazy. I'm sorry. But you know what? We love Phoebe Bridgers. And Isaac Woods showing up to this show.
What?
And stay tuned for more. And Colin, little cliffhanger to my segment. And Colin over here, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page, where he posts updates on when videos are posted, as well as updates anything else that needs to be updated. And he also runs our TikTok page and our Instagram page, where he posts clips of us being silly and saying funny little things like we do occasionally on here. So go check out all of those. Worth your time. But also worth your time is to go check out Colin himself on his personal stuff. He has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music, as well as a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies. And Colin, what is your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, lucky me, I also got tickets. The $1 ticket to the Phoebe Bridgers show at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah.
And I, unbeknownst to the fact that you two were going to be at this show, Mike and our dear viewer, I bought a ticket, and just out of a pure happenstance, I'm sitting in front of both you and our dear viewer.
Wow.
Like same seat, just 3 different rows,
just lower.
And, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
There's no phones allowed. We're enjoying these new songs from Miss Bridgers as we get ready for this very anticipated new album. And after the show, I'm doing a standing O. I'm clapping. I'm wooting. I'm having a great time. I'm so glad that I just got to see Phoebe Bridgers for $1, and I'm gonna turn around at the end just to see how everyone else is reacting, and I'm gonna see. Oh, look at that! It's Mike. Just behind. Who's that? Oh, that's his professor that mentioned that he knows that we have a podcast, and
yeah,
and for his sake, I hope he's listened to every episode.
He did his homework before meeting me again.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. So I listened to all 270 episodes of podcasts, and some of them not so great, but others were very interesting.
Yeah.
I especially liked your skits on the BrokeN, but especially the one where your co-host gets blown by a balloon in the first one.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, thanks, prof.
Yeah.
And after the show, I'm gonna tell Mike, hey, wait. And since you guys were there together but in different rows, you guys are leaving at the same time. And I'm like, oh, hey, Mike, who's this? And you introduce me, and he's like, great to meet you. Big fan. And I'll be like, oh, thanks. Nice to meet you too, Professor something or other. And he's gonna go, yep, that's me. And well, and then we're gonna talk about how much we enjoyed the show. And then
Uh-huh.
afterwards, before we go our separate ways, the dear professor who stays to the end of every episode as well,
Yeah.
it's like, before you go, can I get one of those famous and extraordinary embraces that you guys have at the very end of your episodes? And uh, we're gonna be extremely happy to oblige, of course.
Mhm.
And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stand in front of our dear professor, and our professor is gonna be in the middle, and Mike's gonna be behind, which won't be awkward at all.
Mhm.
And and what we're gonna do is do a big ol' embrace, and sandwich this dear viewer professor, between the two of us, as I look over the professor's shoulder and into Mike's eyes, who is, red in the face and a little embarrassed to be doing such thing, but we have to complete the cycle, and to do that, I must kiss Mike on the mouth.
Mhm.
Um, and and after I do such, the professor is gonna we're gonna, d- de um de-embrace, I guess, disengage, and
Disengage.
and he's gonna go, "Oh, wow, thanks, kids," and we're all gonna go our merry ways. And if you would like your very own awkward embrace, all you must do, that we like to call the love cage, all you must do, dear viewer, is drop your address in the comments below, and we will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we'll find you and give you your very own love gauge. So drop that addy.
Damn straight. And Isaac Wood was there.
Yes, he was. I didn't expound upon that, but he
That's
was
okay.
great.
I kind of it's kind of funny that you didn't. It's what Isaac would have wanted.
That's true.
Um, yes. Go check that out. Thank you for listening this far. If you have, shout out Fiona Apple, and
Shout out, Professor.
shout out Professor. We kiss next to your bald head. And
We can see each other in your bald head.
in your reflection. Um, and yeah, join us next week when we talk about something, maybe,
Something or other.
probably. We'll see.
Probably, I think so.
Stay tuned to see if we
You'll have
talk
to come back
about
to see.
something. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, bye.
but